Today on City Wrestling Radio, CM Punk is set to return to All Elite Wrestling. Jeff Hardy returns to AEW after his controversial suspension. And Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. Could it be happening at Summerslam? Probably not. But I'm going to go ahead and give you all the details today on City Wrestling Radio.
Give me a hell yeah!
Hello there, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of City Wrestling Radio, April 17th, 2023. I'm your host, Korey Smith, being joined, as always, by my co-host and cohort, the big bad booty daddy of City Wrestling Radio, Mr. Jose Ocegueda.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Dude, you're welcome in my home anytime.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, we are creeping on the national holiday of weed smokage, so I might need munchies. So I feel like just like WrestleMania, you'd probably have that fridge stacked. You got kids, so I feel like
I have all the snacks.
I just sneak in at like noon when they're at school and just eat all the snacks.
Great idea. Goldfish.
They're not gonna need it. But Jose, how are you today, sir?
Doing very good. Very exciting times here in pro wrestling. Here to discuss. Let's have some fun.
I mean, there is a lot going on, and some of which, I mean, I don't know. We've been talking about for a while, and I mean, I'm suspicious about CM Punk returning to AEW.
Did we get worked?
So let's get into this a little bit, and I'm going to tell you why I think we got worked. As per Fightful, it is being speculated that CM Punk might make his comeback around the time of the June 21st episode of Dynamite, which takes place in Chicago. And it was recently announced. It is not yet confirmed whether he will return on the show, after the show, before the show, a week before a week. Anyways, he's set to return around that time. This is per Fightful reports. Fightful has also cautioned that the situation is subject to change since it's often unpredictable because it's pro wrestling. I know, right? But Jose, what do you think about this? Like CM Punk returning to AEW after the brawl out situation. Mm-hmm. What's your take?
Okay, here's my take. I'm upset over it because of, situations that partook. But if I'm being worked, God damn, you guys did a great job. Because you got me hook, line, and sinker, dude. I fell for it.
I mean, I might be a wrestling conspiracy theorist, but I do think this was kind of a work. CM Punk got hurt how many times? He got hurt the first time he had to drop the title. He got hurt. Technically, he got hurt in that match, and he was going to have to vacate the title anyways. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He was going to have to take time off anyways. So what better situation is there than to start a feud, for when you come back? You take time off. The only thing that strikes me odd, if that was true, was the firing of was it Ace Steel?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The guy who bit Kenny Omega?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't bite people.
And it seems so outlandish that we thought it to be true. We still think it's true. Maybe it is true. And also Kenny Omega, no, I'm trying to get the dog. Like adding a detail like that, like there's a dog in the room in the middle of everything. Yeah. That's either some genius lying or it did happen.
And if, like you said, if they worked us, I'm not mad. Like I'm not sitting here like, what? Like that's ridiculous. You don't do that. Yeah. What? But at the same time, like if it is a real situation going on between them, like Kenny Omega and the Punks have not spoken about this. Like Punk is the one who has expressed desire to work with the Elite. After he returns, trying, using, is it Dax as a kind of a mouthpiece on the FTR podcast?
Right.
One of our top competitors, by the way. So, I mean, there's been no communication between the Bucks and Omega and Punk at this time, at least to our knowledge.
I mean, which is very old school, to be, truthful.
But, I mean, to build up, like, to have this long time away, coming back, this storyline building up to All In at Wembley, you know, I think it's a good. I think it's a good call. I don't think that is going to be a main event caliber. I don't think that's it should be a main event. I mean, I always think world title should be. I don't think six man should ever be a main event.
No, definitely not. But you know what though? It is kind of it's strange because when CM Punk made his return, we saw that he lost a step. Now, could it be because of the injuries? 100%.
Yeah.
Could it be, just ring rust? 100%. They need all this time to, hey guys, we need to hit the reset button and I need to go back and get to work, because we saw a bunch of those, the Hangman clothesline when he tripped and almost fell on his ass. That's conditioning and rust. So this could be an excuse to do just that.
Yeah. And, it's like I said, like it gave him time away to come back to heel. And now, right when there's a big show, he said to come back,
Yeah. And if this was one of those, we're working a working shoot, right? So we're working a shoot into the program. It's great for business. What can you do?
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I think at this point, like, there's a lot of things in pro wrestling, like, that even like people like us are responsible. Sitting here going like, I don't know if that was real, if that was fake, like, what happened? But like, the fan base in wrestling is so smart nowadays. Yes. That wrestlers and wrestling storylines need to get smarter with them and evolve faster than the fans. Because if they don't, then the fans are just going to be like me when I was watching wrestling in, was it 2004, 2005? I'm like, okay, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. He's going to run down. Yep. And then it's going to happen. DQ. Okay. Next match. And he's, it can't be that predictable.
Yeah.
So, but the one thing that begs the question is, like, with this Wembley show and CM Punk possibly returning, the announcement of AEW Collision, or at least it's not been announced yet.
Yeah.
But the speculation of AEW Collision, because there seems to be some momentum within Warner Brothers Discovery regarding a potential new Saturday show for AEW. This has been known for quite some time, but this could result in a soft brand split for the roster. This might entail dividing the talents who are unwilling to collaborate into different shows. At least that's what people are saying. I don't know, like that. And that's if the whole Punk, Omega Elite stuff is true and we're not being worked. Presently, there is only one scheduled televised event for Saturday, July 8th in Regina, Canada, which is slated. Sorry, that name just throws me off every single time. Which is slated to be 7 p.m. Eastern time. And, like, Saturday sounds like a pay-per-view to me, or sounds like a special, maybe a streaming show. I don't know, because they only have one show scheduled at this point. And this comes when they have, but let's see, Dark Elevation, Dynamite, Rampage, All Access, Ring of Honor. Do they need, Jose, do you think they need like a 6th, 7th show? Like, how is this going to benefit the company?
They don't need the show. Unless their roster, so they feel like their roster's so stacked that they can split and have it maintained. But we already seen the example. It's not a very good idea. It doesn't really work. You have to have some crossover at some point. To me, it sounds like a pay-per-view. AEW does pay-per-views on Saturdays all the time. They do special events on Saturdays all the time. Yeah. It could be just a one-off TV special event, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
saying. So yeah, it's not a good idea to do a weekly thing.
No, I mean, I don't think so either, because, like I said, with all these other shows, like, how are you gonna? It's not even how are you gonna get eyes on all of these products. It's more of, so Tony Khan, we know how we're seeing how he works now. He works like Vince. He wants his hands in everything. He wants to at least have the final say in everything. I'm sure he knows how to delegate. I'm sure he's a great manager. I'm not turning down or putting him down for that. But I think he sees a certain vision, and he wants that vision to be completed to the fullest. And he feel like he needs to be there for that to happen. And
bro, you need a break, man. 7 days a week is too much.
Well, that's the thing, is like, we would have AEW, what, 5 days a week?
6 maybe? Oh yeah, AEW, yeah.
Yeah, an AEW show on that many days a week. It's like, I like wrestling. I love wrestling, but you're not going to catch me watching 7 AEW shows a week, plus
And
maybe a
then
pay-per-view.
we got to watch a pay-per-view, yeah.
No, no, it's just not going to. I don't even watch All Access.
No.
Like, I watched the first
tried.
episode.
Yeah, I tried.
I mean, I'm sorry, the wrestling reality. I mean, I might go to Nikki and Brie when they're in San Francisco. I don't know. But nonetheless, with this 5th or 6th show, whatever, I think it's 6th. And I'm including
Monday,
Ring of
Tuesday,
Honor.
Wednesday.
I mean,
Thursday is Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Friday is
5.
Rampage.
Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah,
and this will be 6.
6. Yeah, it would.
Do we need Tony Khan on our screens 7 days a week?
I mean, if it's going to be him from that business weekly journal cover where it was like him animated all buff running down to the ring,
Jesus,
I'm fine with that. But but it's with this new show, it's like they don't even have everyone kind of on lockdown yet, because Kenny Omega, it's been a lot of speculation and rumors going around about his contract. And recently Conan mentioned to Nick Hausman that he was assuming Kenny Omega's renewed contract, that he's with AEW. Conan said, "I'm assuming he signed with AEW." He goes on to say, "I never really asked him, but there are plans for him in the future, so I'm thinking he has already signed." However, Uncle Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that this is not the case. Meltzer stated, he said, "Conan did an interview and it got people thinking that Kenny Omega had signed a new contract, and Omega is under contract with AEW. His contract has been extended because of his timeout, 9 months due to injury. So Meltzer believes that he is under contract until November or December, and that's the situation. But there's no new deal to be assigned right now. So if you're hearing that Kenny Omega signed a new contract, it's fake news. Sorry, I don't like using that term, but it's fake news."
Well, you never know.
I mean, you never know, but initially Kenny's contract was scheduled to end in January, but was extended. I mean,
well, everybody does the injury extension, right?
Yeah.
Everybody so far.
Yeah. According to a report by Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, AEW is keen on signing long-term deals with Omega and the Bucks.
You have to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but it's so, like, despite this, in an interview with CBC News, Omega revealed that he has yet any realization or revelation about his future plans, where he intends to sign next. Omega says, "I always kind of try to find my own way, or at least try to lean in the direction of where my heart is pulling me." Omega also went on to say, "I haven't had any sort of empathy yet." I don't know what that was entailed to, and I don't know why. Anyways.
Epiphany.
Thank you. Because sometimes, the whole reading thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't really work for me.
I feel you. I'm right there with you.
But so, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Kenny Omega he said, "I haven't had any sort of epiphany yet." But this begs the question, with CM Punk's return, the future signings, what do you think Omega will do now? Like, do you think this will want him to stay around? Do you think, Vince is in control over at WWE,
which is a huge deterrent, right?
I mean, people would say
to some, yeah,
yeah,
especially those that are veterans in the business. Just ask Jay White. So yeah, I think Kenny's gonna stay. I think he's in love with the place. It's his baby, it's his own creation. He has a video game coming out soon. I mean, who knows when, but it's coming out. Yeah, I think he stays. I'm not worried about it.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a different WWE than just Vince being in control now, though.
And you can kind of tell too, because as we saw the Monday night after WrestleMania, it was all convoluted and jarring, and there seems to be a better flow this week.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So maybe someone heard and is taking advice finally.
Or Nick Khan said something about because Triple H is still in charge of creative, and Vince will give suggestions.
Okay.
but we'll see. But you did bring up a good point, though. It's the AEW Fight Forever video game, because there was news that came out earlier this week that I did not put in the pre-show news rundown notes.
The newts.
But so the AEW Fight Forever video game developers say the game isn't finished yet, despite Tony Khan's comments. Because, and this is all per IGN, I'm reading exactly from the website. So give full credit to Rebecca Valentine. Hey, Rebecca Valentine, thank you for this well-written article. AEW Fight Forever, the officially licensed AEW video game developed by Ukes and published by THQ Nordic, is supposed to be out this year, but a series of comments from AEW leadership and the game's developers have left fans confused to the game's actual development status. The confusion can be traced back to February when AEW wrestler and executive vice president, Mr. Kenny Omega himself, said on the Swerve City podcast that the game has been done, but was currently in limbo trying to get an ESRB rating finalized. This was then reiterated by AEW president Tony Khan during a media scrum following the pay-per-view AEW Revolution, which I was denied access to. Tony Khan, I just wanted to put that in there, Tony Khan, so next time I can get your news out there faster. I'm just saying. Tony Khan went on to say, I can't say the exact release date. There's a lot of things that go into that, and I don't want to step on anybody with that. It is coming very soon. The game is finished. Now, all of this sounds pretty definite, but THQ Nordic senior community manager this name is Pierre P-E-R Hollenbro. Per Hollenbro.
Sounds good to me.
Has recently taken to Twitch and Twitter to debunk this. On Twitter, he wrote that AEW Fight Forever is doing really well, but is not 100% yet, and called the decision to say that it was done just another rumor on Twitter. On Twitch, Hallenbro went into a bit more of a detail as to why there was so much discrepancy between THQ and AEW leadership, saying the problem is that the two groups see it very differently. He exclaimed that as a publisher, THQ Nordic doesn't consider a game done until it's ready to go out the door, including elements such as certification, retail distribution, and a lot more. He also said that AEW Fight Forever is in good state. He says, I do not believe that anybody lied. I do not believe that there is any kind of miscommunication in any shape or form. I believe that simply some people look at it differently because they don't look at it through the eyes of a publisher. A lot of games go into it. A lot goes into it. And for me, as somebody who is part of the publishing house, it's very different for me what companies or what completes a game and what doesn't. So, I mean, it seems like we have a little bit of back and forth and just maybe a little bit of miscommunication between the two parties.
Yeah, well, the game definitely could be done, but there's a lot of post stuff that needs to be done, right? I used to test games back in my youth, and that's probably what's going through. It's probably going through a debug, make sure that the wrestlers don't get stuck in the middle of the ropes all crooked. That's the last thing you want, let's bring out another firmware patch. And then comes the issue of licensing, meaning the Young Bucks like to wear Nikes. Is Nike going to let them use the Jordans that they rock on a regular basis, or are we going to get like a generic sneaker now? So there's issues there too.
They do have those shoes called Super Kicks.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they can do those. But I've tested one video game ever. It was like an Oddworld game.
I love those games.
Yeah, they're fun. But to me, also, it's like this game's taking so long that the screenshot they're showing Jericho coming out in his old what was his group's name before?
Oh yeah. Oh man, Bad Behavior. No, not Appreciation Society. That's today. I forgot.
Inner Circle.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Our memory sucks. We need a third member that's like a historian.
Yeah, somebody who's very experienced in wrestling and can be like, No, I know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, to me, it's just like they have all these old scans of these characters now, and I'm like, okay, the game seems already a little dated.
Yeah, now they're patching it. They got this is another reason you got to patch it up.
But they're gonna have to keep patching it every single time.
Yeah, that they have to finish it up, and then do a final. All skins. Like I'm playing WWE right now, and some faces are healed. I'm doing GM mode, so some faces are heels right now, some heels are faces, and I mess up bookings and get bad grades.
Are you? Is it the new WWE 2K13 or 23?
Yeah.
I still have yet to get. I keep telling myself, I'm like, you're gonna just wait until you get a PS5, and
It's right there. I have one.
you have a PS5.
Yeah, I just got it recently.
Yeah, I just realized that you can do it, and I know I sound poor by doing it, but you can do the pay in 4 option, and I'm like,
Sold.
like no interest. That sounds
Yeah,
great.
well,
Pay it went
yeah,
off in like 2 months.
Yeah, I'm hella down.
But yeah, I mean, whether or not whether or not what's going to happen with the video game remains to be seen, and we'll keep you updated here on City Wrestling Radio.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, Jeff Hardy has returned to AEW for the first time since his DUI case. Jeff Hardy has made a comeback to AEW, assisting his brother, fending off the attack from the Firm this week. Jeff Hardy came out with a steel chair, landing a swanton bomb on Lee Moriarty. As you remember, Jeff was suspended from AEW in June 2021 after he got pulled over for a DUI. I believe, was it 3 times the legal limit? Something like that. After not, and then also he's coming back now after fulfilling necessary requirements. So Jose, this just like, to me, I don't know, like I'm not somebody who wants to rain on anyone's recovery. At the same time, it's like, this isn't somebody who just, oh, this person got had a problem for the first time. This is the third. I mean, I don't want to sit here and speculate a high number, but this is not the first time.
It's not the first time, and it's not the first time at one company. Every company he's at, he's had a first time.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to WWE, I mean, it wasn't as prevalent, but in TNA, he had that match with Sting.
Yeah,
where it's just, do you think it's smart for him to like be wrestling?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Recovery is tough. Kicking something like that is tough, especially if you have, an addiction problem.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the guy. I wish him the best. I hope he kicks it, man. And I think that wrestling could and could not help. You don't want triggers to get you back on drinking, but he also needs something to fill your space. And I'm afraid that if he gets fired and doesn't wrestle anymore, he'll just have, a void that he'll have to fill. Some people need to reiterate these, Scott Hall stories. Some people need to reiterate some of these. Ric Flair doesn't help, but so we need to remember the past, or else we're condemned to, repeat it.
Yeah, because no, I see what you're saying. Because yeah, if he's there, yeah, he's not he's there, but he's facing his problems, he's facing his demons. But at the same time, he might be triggered. But if he was home, he could be triggered even more by not, have anything else to fall back on.
I would say idle hands.
I think if he's there and has a good support system in AEW, this could be a good change for him. I mean, he's taken one step to evolve his character, and he's grown out his gray hair. He's all gray now. And I was just like, that is awesome, because I'm tired of these guys who got famous 20, 30, 40 years ago, and they're still wearing the same thing. John Cena.
But that's another episode.
He's my buddy on Twitter. So yeah, come at me, Cena. What?
Yeah, he does follow the show.
He follows everybody.
He does. Oh, some people that I see him follow, he's cringe.
He follows everybody. Yeah. So Jeff Hardy, the best of luck to him and his recovery, because like I said,
I love his work, man. I love the guy. I love that his music talent. This dude is all around cool. He just needs to get over this one hump.
And his lawn mowing skills.
Oh, that's correct. I forgot about that.
He does it's landscaping is what it's called, right? Yeah. He's super talented with that. And I mean, some of the stuff I've seen him do with, like, for the Hardy compound is pretty Pretty crazy. It's like you had to have seen some shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, next up, WWE has apparently renamed the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. They have decided to rename the upcoming event in Saudi Arabia, previously announced as King and Queen of the Ring, as Night of Champions. This event is set to take place May 27th in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Night of Champions was last used as a pay-per-view name in 2015 and has since been replaced by Clash of Champions after, I believe, clearing names and getting things changed for the old WCW name.
Right.
Nostalgia, you know.
Mhm.
Us millennials love that shit.
Who does?
WWE has filed for the King and Queen of the Ring trademarks in December of 2020, announced the event in its programming in March of 2022. It is still unclear if the rename event will feature the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. Currently, still King and Queen of the Ring by default are Xavier Woods and Zelina Vega.
Yeah. And Charlotte.
Well, she's always, remember, she's the queen.
Yeah.
She's
queen.
taken off. Yeah, she's going to go do bodybuilding, I heard.
Really?
I mean, that's what I heard, but we'll see if that happens.
Great. Good luck.
But do you think this could be another fingerprint of Vince McMahon being back, or
They have
Night
to
of
fill
Champions?
these. They have to fulfill these dates.
Well, I mean, it was originally going to be King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah. And I really think that was a Vince idea. Changing it seems anti-Vince. He loves the King and the Queen tournaments. He loves that stuff.
What was the last one he called? He didn't call it Queen of the Ring. He called, was it the Queen's Crown tournament?
I think so. Yeah.
So Vince is Vince.
Mm-hmm. Vince.
I would love if he just starts coming out every night dressed like a different old figure with that mustache and the hair. Like it comes out Walt Disney one night, comes out in like a sombrero the next night. You know,
bushes it up and comes out as Tom Selleck.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know, this whole King and Queen of the Ring thing, them changing the name, I don't think there's much to it. I mean, there could also be political things going on here. Maybe having an event named King and Queen. I don't know.
Saudi Arabia, they could have been like, there's only one king, there's only one queen.
I don't live in a place where there's a monarch. You know, as much as people want to say, actually, you know, if you look back in American politics, it's very monarch-like. Whatever. I don't live in a monarch, so I don't really know the necessary what they call them, rules that they abide by. So I don't know if it has something to do with that, but that is something that kind of first popped in my head when I first saw this story.
Yeah.
Is maybe just the name, you know, they just had to change it because of the culture there.
Yeah.
And before we get into our final story tonight, I do want to point out, I would want to give a nice congratulations to former WWE star, former Impact star, former All Pro Wrestling, Johnny. We call him Johnny City Wrestling Radio around here, but John Morrison. He won his boxing debut at Creator Clash 2.
I saw that. Yeah.
Facing off against the what is it? What was it? I have it written down. I did not have it written down.
What? The opponent?
Yeah.
It's
the Epic Mealtime, right?
Harley Mornstein?
Yeah, I believe that's
you didn't put the nickname.
Yeah, the Epic Mealtime guy.
Sounds awesome.
So he won his congratulations, John Morrison. I mean, that's cool. And there was also some dude, somebody's like drunk uncle calling out Seth Rollins in the.
I would like to call out the entire company of the WWE
ring.
Another boxer. Yeah, I'll tell you, WWE's been at my doorstep plenty of times. I got 2 signed contracts sent to me, and I'll show them to you.
I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know. I'm sending. This is funny. I'm sending a challenge to everyone in the locker room. I'm sending a challenge to you, Seth Rollins. Make up your mind.
Seth Rollins? How about you go toe-to-toe with a boxer, a YouTuber from the original days who actually wins his fights?
It's just like, I don't know, man. It's like, dude, you're not Conor McGregor. Like, you're not Logan Paul. Like you look like a Silas Young version of, was it Jack Gallagher?
Yeah.
If Jack Gallagher and Silas Young had like a little brother, this dude would
That's
be
the
it.
guy.
And I probably have to cut the video in and out of this because I'm not saying his name because I didn't do the research on it. But there you go. Creator Clash 2. I don't want to take part in Creator Clash 3. So if anyone challenges me to a fight, I will not accept for anything under $1 million and automatic dental work, if anything.
There you go. I will accept, and my music will just hit, and then that's it.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have Vince book it. You'll go down the ring, you'll play your music, everyone will sing along with your song, and then they'll come back from break and you'll be like, thank you.
Thank you, good night.
It will cut your segment during the
the
break.
You'll see me hanging over the ropes like, what?
But another sign, and maybe it's not another sign, but something else, our last kind of story of the night or of the morning, whenever you're listening to this, is SummerSlam plans. Brock Lesnar versus Gunther apparently isn't in WWE's plans for the future going forward. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, a match between Brock Lesnar and Gunther currently isn't planned for WWE's SummerSlam. I believe it's in Detroit this year. While a singles match between the two could eventually happen if Lesnar is scheduled for SummerSlam, there's already a different direction planned. Lesnar and Gunther shared the ring at the Royal Rumble, speculating when these two will eventually face off. I mean, who do you want to see Brock face? I mean, like, he's apparently facing Cody, and I think that's where it's going to lead. It's going to lead to something at SummerSlam.
There's only two possible outcomes here. It's going to be a Cody Lesnar or a Lesnar Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because like the whole, I mean, it's April right now, May, June, July. You got 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
3 months till SummerSlam. It's like, you're really going to drop the Brock thing by then? To me, it doesn't sound right. You know what I mean?
Just when it got started, we've only seen one interaction.
Exactly. So I think, it'll go to Backlash. It'll get a fucked finish. And then eventually it'll lead to a tag match of some sort with Cody and insert name here, Seth Rollins versus Brock and Logan Paul. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then, yeah. Solo Sikoa? I don't know. Brock would just
Brock?
like.
And Brock?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. Well, I mean, I think that about does it here for us today. We went through all of our news segments pretty fast today. Because
for you guys, we know you're busy. You have time.
This week is April 20th. 420. I'm sure Godfather will wish everyone a happy 420. Rob Van Dam is another one. Ric Flair and his medical, or it's not medical anymore. His recreate. We don't have to lie about it anymore. It's not medical.
These headaches were just regular, Tylenol headaches.
Yeah. No, they were fine. But it's funny to me how that's everything's completely changed about that. Like restaurants are now like offering like deals. Like, was it Jack in the Box has the Pineapple Express
Midnight Munchie box
milkshake that's going to be $4.20. And then all these other restaurants are like, hey, munchie deals on, was it Wednesday? Today's the 17th. So yeah, Wednesday. So yeah.
Yikes. Okay. Yeah, get ready for a cool Riddle promo that'll
Riddle.
Bro.
Yeah, I'd be like, before I go out for a holiday this week. That weirdo. Anyways, I think that about does it here for us before we ramble on like two old men and everyone calls us boomers.
Back in my day, wrestling was real.
All right, for City Wrestling Radio, I'm Korey Smith.
I am Jose.
And we will see you next time. Take care. Have a wonderful day. See ya.